What up, gang? So today I'm implementing parts of the RFC uh, for the registry API. So basically, we're going to be trying to automatically bundle CJS and ESM together. Um, I mean, everybody says the situation is quite messy, but I got a more full appreciation of it by writing up this document. Um, so you basically have ECMA script modules. These are the classic modules with like imports, stuff like that. So that's what we're looking at here. It's got imports. Uh, Even before this, we have, code with React and TypeScript. Okay. So you've got your like source code, React and TypeScript, and then you've got your ESM code that looks like this. And this code sort of works in a browser, but in order for it to work, you have to give the browser an import map for these things, which virtually nobody does, and you're not supposed to dynamically do it. So it's not great for dynamic execution. It's not made for it. So uh, they should probably fix that. But anyway, it's not made for it. Even if there's ways to hack it, it's just not worth it. So the other format is CommonJS, which is doesn't have those import export statements, and as a result you can kind of modify this require function. So this is actually a lot easier to use in browsers, and it has some limitations, but they're mostly not relevant for our case. So this is how you can override the require function to execute some browser code, eval some browser code, and drop in the dependencies that you want to drop in. So the ecosystem is a mess. I thought it was pretty complicated. It feels a lot simpler now, because you first have to say, okay, there's not a million variants. We're just dealing with TypeScript, and then ESM and CJS. And then once you understand those three formats, it's not so bad. It's not so hard. So with that, what we're doing is making it so that we automatically build TS circuit snippets, which are these TypeScript circuit code or circuit kind of like elements. So this is like something you can import, right? We want to build this automatically to ESM and CJS. And I kind of wish I didn't have to do this. Like, I feel like a little bit like, I don't know, irked that I have to do this. It feels like you should just be able to import this directly without any compilation. But browsers can't run TypeScript, obviously. That's not going to happen for a while. And I do like to have everything run in the browser, for better or worse. And oftentimes it feels like for worse. It feels like it'd be a lot easier to do everything in Node. But browser execution is kind of nice because the browser is a really great sandbox. So, yo, what up, Ansh? Welcome. So my focus here is going to be to create. I've got 3 URLs described in this RFC: esm.tscircuit.com, cjs.tscircuit.com, and npm.tscircuit.com. And these are all just different ways to quickly import a TS circuit snippet. Check my reviews on the Review Me tab. Add line stroke support for graphics debug. Nice. Nice. Okay. Well done. Good PR. Let's see what else we got. I think there was something last night. You needed me to approve workflow runs, but I can't. See? There's no way for me to approve it. So it's, I don't know what to do. Let me see. Actions. See if there's like some permission I need to turn on. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Uh, uh, yeah, it's almost like a GitHub bug or something. Yeah, so I don't mean to give you a bunch more work, but if you do this in a separate PR and then we merge that prior to merging your current PR, that's one way to fix it. But yeah, this file can be removed too. Uh maybe just by me committing, maybe it'll run it. No, it doesn't want to run it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Check above where you have slept. Can you also check on core repo regarding create element? I don't really know what to do on this one. You know, you've had a bunch of good PRs lately, so I'll just give it to you on this one. But I think best practice would be to. But if the tests fail, you're responsible for it, I guess. I'm just gonna trust because you're gonna get the bounty early. Oh, we should run bun test on main. That'll tell you if you have to go in and fix anything. So you can say on pull request, and then you can say branches main. Is one way to do it. That should work. Let's see. Is it gonna run now, or did I do it wrong? It might just be on branch. Yeah, I was a little too haphazard there. How do you run tests on main? We need to adjust the plop. Oh, on push branches main. Okay. Yeah, we always want to run tests on main. I don't know. When I set this up originally, I guess I just effed it up. Let's adjust plop for that. Can't really blame you if the template we're all supposed to be using doesn't have it in there. Okay, it's a little better. I mean, I believe tests are passing for you locally, but like the only machine you can trust is CI. It's the only machine you can trust. All right, let's take a look at TS Circuit Core. You said you did create element. I guess you reviewed this too. Well, be nice, jeez. Make sure not to commit the package lock as well. This issue is kind of hard. You need to understand React reconciliation changes for React 19. I might just close this. Yeah, as is saying, would recommend an easier issue. I don't normally close people's PRs, but like, no offense, but it is low quality. Typo in the title, didn't follow repo convention. It's too low quality. You're not going to get it. Okay, we need to talk about this. Just a little bit of syntax. Just a little bit of syntax. At least I know AI didn't write this. You just do export create element from React. Hold on, I'm thinking about this. Because this is gonna make us dependent on React, but I think we already are, so I think it's fine. But anyway, you should check and make sure. I don't know. I can commit this and we can see if the tests pass, but this syntax is way better. Like that other syntax, especially like I'm crazy about variable transparency, so I'm gonna be crazy about like having a duplicate variable. I hate duplicate variable names. Like if you have two variable names and they mean the same thing, I'm gonna get riled. I think that's, in that case it was not so bad, but in other cases that's like sabotage. It's not good. I want to create a keyword sabotage when somebody does such a bad job that I'm like, you're sabotaging. I know I shouldn't, but that's how it feels emotionally. Sorry if I'm mumbling a little bit. I've been working out every day, and I feel like I've gotten slowly more and more tired this week. But anywho, let's. If people have more PRs, feel free to message me. Thanks for all the stuff on some really good PRs in there. You should try the React 19 upgrade and see if you can figure it out. That's a pretty good one. It's pretty tough. The error sucks. It's probably not actually that hard, but the error sucks. So, but just pick a test, upgrade to React 19, and then just try it out. I forgot to merge on core. I didn't forget to merge it. I was waiting for tests to pass. And they do. Because like a lot of times when I do those little commits, most of the time I won't even do them, because if I break something, like I don't really, I'll give the suggestion, somebody else can take it, because once you change the code, you're responsible for it. Anyway, good job. How much was that one bountied for? That was bountied for $5. That was a freebie. That was a freebie. Let me tell you, that was a freebie. All right, completely rewrite this endpoint. This endpoint takes in paths like /ESM /author /package name. It actually takes in two variants, so it can take in that or /ESM /author dot package name, and returns an ESM build. Don't worry about the ESM build part. I'll take care of that. Complete my today goal is $550. Your goal is $550, or you actually got $550? I feel like you didn't get $550. Although, I don't think that's an impossible day. Maybe in the future. Three plus PRs merging regularly for 15 days. I think that's good or not. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to be sad when you start going to classes and I get less commits. That's why you got to get your friends so that there's still good PR flow. But yeah, no, you've been doing great. It's going to be sad when you're in classes. No. Yeah, you've improved a lot. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, you're gonna go back and be like the best, you know, CS student. I'm assuming you're a CS student. Yeah, you've been able to do slightly or harder and harder PRs, which is cool. So it's good stuff. Um, I feel like it's probably a string here. Let's do that. I don't know exactly what format that's going to take. Sorry about that. I will do it when I got time. Lunch breaks or after coming from the hostel. Yeah. No, understood. Yeah. College is important. So they're reaching for a pre-built bundle file, which is cool. And I wish, and I was like thinking about this approach, but at least initially we're gonna build in real time because caches always create problems. Um, so regrettably, maybe regrettably, I'm going to, whoops, uh, build every time somebody requests, and then we'll use a Cloudflare cache, which is a more safe cache uh, as far as implementation goes. You're less likely to make bugs or have bottlenecks or anything like that. So we'll use that for our bundle content, and we'll do that using cache headers on our response. But anyway, this looks like decent. This is basically what I want. Let's write a test for the CJS route, and then we'll write the code that actually builds it. This is on our backend server, so it's not like this code isn't super accessible, but right now. But I'm gonna port it to snippets or drop it into snippets. I don't want to do degree, just want to do open source every day. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know the value of a degree nowadays, but I do know the value of a good portfolio, and it's high. But I liked college for other reasons. I feel like I can't deter people from college because I liked college because I like had like friends there and stuff like that. So like I had like fun, not like crazy party fun, but you know, I had a good time. So I don't want to I want to poach people out of college, hence not hiring students, but definitely tempting in your case. Um all right, so let's say cjs.test.ts. Oh man, I don't want to bootstrap a test. Let's give it health.test.ts. Bootstrap a test that calls out to I will get 2 crown tomorrow. Fat chance, bro. No way. Yeah. 2 crown is our contribution scoring system. So 2 crown is pretty high. I didn't think anybody would be able to get 2 crowns. It's kind of impressive, actually. Like just in general, I didn't think people would be able to get 2 stars and stuff like that. I will say, the point system has changed since I started, and as the project gets more mature, it's like a tiny bit easier to get points than it used to be. It used to be really hard to even get one PR merged because nobody knew what was going on. Nothing was like structurally sound. And now we have like tests that work. We have snapshot tests, which are amazing. We didn't have snapshot tests for a while, which is like, can you imagine doing what we do without snapshot tests? But this is to say, I'm impressed people have been able to get up to a star. I'm impressed you were able to get up to a star. I think you're the second person besides me who's been able to get up there. 6 points away from 2 crowns, like only 2 PRs. Wow. Yeah, and I think you have a while to do it too. Because when does the scoring end? Does it end today? I actually don't know when it ends. I can't remember the scoring period. Yo, Rashab, long time no see. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to the land of electronics. This week, 30 merged PRs. Nice. Wow. Impressive. Very impressive. All right, let's get AI working while we chat here. Let's see. I can't remember the name of the example package. It's probably like some package or something. Oh, am I even running this server? View packages. Jane/my package. All right, I was close. Okay, it's bootstrapped a little test for us. We're going to change some of the names around. We're going to change it to Jane my package. Then why only $200? Just kidding. I don't know, man. I mean, admittedly, I think 30 PRs is probably worth more. But, you know, this is why it's all got to be automatic, because I don't know. It's just tough. I guess I can say I sponsored a couple people up to, $400, and then this has happened like several times now, and then they just go away. They just drop off, and you can't cancel those things that quickly. So they basically they got 2 months of it or whatever. I'm like, wow, that kind of sucks, because that's like, because other people can get that sponsorship. So anyway, I don't increase it that quickly. But you're right. I mean, 30 PRs, $200. Well, I think you also got bounties though, right? But yeah. Just needs to be all automatic. Once it's all automatic, we can sleep easy. Rashab says, I'm in the airport traveling back. How was the trip? Espresso, you wish. This is I've started mixing teas, so I have a teapot, and I have a tea mixture in there. This one is osmanthus and gunpowder green tea, which is very, very, very not fancy. It's like the most abundant green tea, but I do enjoy it. All right, let's see what this response gives us. I also want to convert this to KY. I've become attached to KY. I also released a library recently called Typed KY, which dramatically improves the types of KY. I think it's an awesome library everybody should use. I should probably like PR or like show it off somehow or something, but that's really great. Okay, so let's add it to our test fixture. We'll add a KY instance. Espresso or wine. Dude, it's 9 a.m. for me. Can you imagine? Anj says, I will not do that. I want to become part of TS Circuit family, if you know what I'm saying. You want to get married? You should try Indian tea. Ask Rashab about it. I think Indian tea, like chai tea. I like chai. It was great. I feel refreshed refreshed, chilling on the beach. A lot of things have happened in TS Circuit. Very exciting. We have had an eventful couple weeks. um, yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. I think the thing that is most like exciting for me, and it's kind of dumb, but you never know what's going to hit really hard, but when you render a large circuit, you have a progress indicator now. See that? That's the background thread rendering. And you can even, like, this has render logs open, so you can actually see the performance of different parts. But you can also see where it breaks. So, yeah, this feature, as dumb as it is, having stuff running on your main thread just, like, is terrible. It's, like, so annoying. And then when it's not running on your main thread, you're like, what is going on? Is it working? So this is probably the thing I'm most excited about, as lame as it is. We also just fixed so many bugs. I mean, I feel like the past 2 weeks I've gone so hard relatively. All right, so it's saying it doesn't have the route params. I don't remember how any of this works. What do we have here on this object? Do I have to type? Yeah, I have to type the route params. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll see if that works for us. Bad request. Expected string received array. Okay. Chai tea, huh? If array convert to string with slash. Okay. Let's see if that did it. Okay, nice. So we're getting the package. It's returning 200. So we've made a tiny bit of progress. As a dairy intolerant, no thank you. Yeah, that's true. Let's catch up tomorrow if you're available. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I'm basically free all day tomorrow. This time. Yeah, we will put in a meeting. There is much to do. Much to do and so little time to do it. Yeah, chai tea has dairy, right? You always add milk. I do like chai tea. Yeah. It's a lot more effort to make though. Like here I just have this teapot and I have a jug of hot water. And I literally just like fill it as it drains. So very convenient. I'm trying to do like a little bit more of a caffeine curve. So instead of hitting cold brew super hard first thing in the morning, which I normally do, and I have cold brew here, I'm going to hit tea, hit cold brew, hit tea again. Always the case. Not enough time to get things done. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Bane of my existence is trying to get enough done. Anywho, all right, we're gonna make a function bundle package release, and we will pass in the latest release, and we'll pass in the database. That's probably good. So we'll make this function. Create a new directory called bundle. We'll say bundle. Oops. Bundle package release. My girlfriend says my genre is ASMR coding, and I don't think that's quite right. I feel like you'd be insane if this is your ASMR. Like, I don't know. Let's see. I want to become more TS Circuit family means contributing more and more. Makes sense. Makes sense. Of course. I have tea in the morning, espresso in a few hours. If I have it. If I have a second, I can't sleep well. Yeah. That's same for me, Imposter. Same for me. Launch says, I think I am your regular viewer. Imposter was here first. Me and Imposter go way back. It's kind of crazy, actually. It's actually crazy. I think if I think if I was having a list of like people who I should meet, Imposter would be like at the top of it. If we blew up and there was a SevCon, I would be like they would get free tickets. We need to hear the keyboard too. I put you in the background and try to do work. I can't remember when I started. Yeah, long time. It's kind of crazy. It's also like kind of nice because like I don't even know like how you would have found me. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, of the so many people, it's just like a crazy universe thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Because, yeah, it was like COVID times and stuff like that. It's crazy. These method signatures look really ugly, but there's like a reason to the madness. This second part of it is using our context pattern. So these are things that are common, and then this is a thing that is uncommon. And it looks messy at first, but it eventually works out. I always look at devs. Some have the vibe I'm looking for. Yeah. I guess there were fewer live stream devs back in the day. I don't know how full the category is now. Let's see. Because they actually created a software development and game development category. This didn't exist. We used to stream in science and technology. Yeah, let's see. Oh my gosh, wow, 115. That's crazy. Yeah, look at this. Look how many people are live. That's crazy. It's not that crazy, but this used to not be a genre. Oh, there I am. Oh, one viewer, Imposter, thank you. Wow, crazy. I should have done it more during COVID. I feel like it was maybe a tenth the size. I feel like it would have had a lot less, but it was in the science and technology category, so hard to say. I only look at JavaScript devs, no game. Yeah, that makes sense. I respect game devs. I think they do like really hard stuff sometimes, but it crosses the line between like you know like you don't know, like I don't know. It's a little bit so they have to solve really hard problems sometimes, but it can also be like a little bit unserious too. Like there's not as many patterns and stuff like that. Like you're not going to get like really mad, or you might get really mad at somebody's code, but like creativity is expected. That's my hot take on game development versus web development. All right, we're going to try to pull all the files inside the package. I'm just going to be really lazy with this implementation. So we're going to pull in all the files. I barely remember what I'm doing right now. Okay, that's code. We wrote code. Lost an AirPod. Disappointing. As the name implies, not a dev. What would we talk about if we meet for coffee? That's a good point. Probably just a handshake, you know? A look of acknowledgement. We'd give each other, we wouldn't even meet, in chat. We do, what's it called? The Bruce Wayne kind of look back thing. Like we just see each other from across the cafe. Am I going to be able to find this? Where is it? Coffee shop. This. We do one of these. You know what I mean? One of these guys. Okay, that's really small. Yeah, one of these. Just from across the room. That's all we'd have to say. I don't know. We'd probably talk about whatever the heck is going on with you because while I am not anonymous, you are fairly anonymous. So I would de-anonymize you in our conversation that is non-public. Have I ever visited? Yeah, exactly. Nods. Have you ever visited India? No. I would visit India though. Yeah, someday. Cannot find variable bundle package release. Oh. Cool. There's our file content. So we want to bundle that up. We're implementing for an ESM endpoint, you literally would not change a thing. That would basically be the output bundle. That's kind of a bad seed content. I can make that better. Have you ever visited India? I will meet you. I will make a guide for you. I will let you know. I think the thing that's most likely to bring me to India is like some kind of conference. But I've said no to a lot of conferences lately. I just want to focus on building. I think a lot of people go and they talk at conferences before their stuff is ready. And I just don't want to be. Do you ever come to New York? I'm actually going to New York in 2 weeks. My parents are in upstate New York. So yeah, I do go to New York. Yeah. What up, Anurag? Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. It's kind of nice to see familiar faces. It's like coworkers, basically. So I tried to get a puppy this weekend, and it actually fell through. It's very disappointing. Somebody snagged the puppy before me in San Francisco with designer dogs because I want a doodle. And I know that everyone will get all mad at me for wanting a doodle. But I love doodles. So anyway, I was so in San Francisco, they basically have this thing where they fire a gun into the air and everyone runs towards the dog they want. And then whoever snags it up gets the dog. And I had just done leg day. So pretty sore. So I did not make it to Poppy, which is very disappointing, I would say. But that's how it is. Yo, Ravi, what up? Oh, that's fun. I haven't seen Ravi in a while. How's it going? Good to see you. How do you spend your day when we sleep? I continue programming. Yeah. But it's a less active time of day, so a little bit less streaming during that time of day. Yeah. Buffalo is like 8 hours. I'm pretty close to Buffalo. Is a bit far from me. So the three places I basically go in New York is New York City proper, and in upstate New York, Rochester, which is near Buffalo. So, yeah. Little New York trivia for everybody. It's a very big state. To get to my house, I have a direct Amtrak line from New York City. So, direct train line from New York City to Rochester. It ends at Rochester. And that Amtrak takes like 8 hours. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. Let's do like a really basic circuit here. Any hope for college AI? Hope is, college AI is my first startup. Ravi is very involved. Very involved. It's basically seeded this startup. Made its existence possible. We're having a meeting about college AI this ish month, so perhaps there is something to do with it still. That domain is really worth quite a bit, and we do get a lot of traffic. So, yeah, New York is really big. But I shouldn't say much, but I will say I'm meeting up with Joey end of January. When I'm in New York, I'm going to meet up with him. So we're going to talk a little bit about college AI, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Is college AI funded like TS Circuit? Yes, it is. It is funded by very good people. I don't want to disclose inappropriately, but yes, it is funded. It was the first startup I raised money for. And technically still runs. But the reason I say technically is we more or less ran out of money and don't actively work on it. How are open source startups getting funding if they are free to use? It's a good question. I mean, OpenAI was kind of an open source startup. They got funding and then they just shut it down, right? No, I think with open source, you trade your distribution. You trade like enterprises like open source, so it's easier to sell into enterprises. So you're trading some of your IP strategy for distribution strategy, and that increasingly makes sense. So it makes more sense, Anj, if you've done a sale worth like over $10,000 or $100,000. If you've ever done a sale more than $10,000 or $100,000, open source kind of clicks. It's like, oh, wow, all those objections and all of that difficulty selling go away. All those plans where they're like, what if your startup goes under? What do we do? It's like, if it's open source, you can just say, do whatever you want, or don't worry about it. Not do whatever you want, but like you have the code. All right, so we're exporting a more complicated component now. So this will give us better validation that our board is actually working. Actually, I don't know. I just wrote out that board, but I actually think we could do a little bit better. Let's use this very well-known template. It's got a default export too, so that's kind of nice. That's going to resemble something a little closer to what users use. Okay, bundling. Bundling is super cool. I wrote an entire RFC with example scripts about bundling, so we're not gonna be too fancy. We're just gonna copy those example scripts out. So we are in backend making TS Circuit enterprises. I know we don't have to talk about it here. Yeah, we have a while to go, before I think uh like before it all clicks for people. But uh but yeah, in essence, I anticipate most of the money in TIA Circuit being made on enterprises. Yeah. But I think that just like GitHub, I think like GitHub is a good way to think about TIA Circuit's model. Where does GitHub make most of its money? It's on enterprises. Enterprises need custom features, lots of stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, selling to enterprises is very nice. I mean, in many ways it's not nice, but okay, so we need to guess the entry point. This is going to be like a whole dance, but I'm going to just avoid it for now. We're just going to say find a file path that is index.ts, or we could say starts with index, because technically that's a TSX file now. Can adjust that over here. Hopefully that doesn't break too much stuff. Yeah, I think the main thing is to just focus on making TS Circuit a really great product, and like the enterprise stuff, it'll come. It'll come. The TS Circuit is gonna take a really long time before it hits the full vision. So like, it's like if it's your first day coding, you don't expect to make money that day. Like normally SaaSes should be able to probably start selling within 6 months. I would say a normal SaaS, you should be able to like a normal like B2B SaaS, whatever. There's no normal SaaS, but like whatever, if you're Pair AI or something like that, you're a VS Code extension or something, you should be able to like hammer down that value proposition and sell to users pretty quickly. But I think TS Circuit is an exception because it's like hardware adjacent. All right. So we've got our entry point file path. If we don't have it, let's throw a nice little error. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes I like to make these errors really readable too. So files found, and we'll do all right. We'll babelify that file. I'm a little worried it'll come in without content. So let's just make sure it has content. Good error messages are worth their weight in gold. Don't forget them. Anj says, I want to thank you publicly. 2 months I am not making any money and going to college again and again, and now I have earned $1,000 in 2 months. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the contributions. I am happy to help, especially when it helps TS Circuit. Um, let's see, bundle content. Okay, so yeah, we're still bundling. Losing my train of thought here. Entry point, we got the Babel results. We can take a peek at this Babel result. We're going to return an empty string for now. I think I have some other issues. This needs to be awaited. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, there is our Babel code. So it converted all those JSX elements into React.create element, which is exactly what we want. Now we go to the next stage, which is the CJS rollup. So we're going to use rollup, which is a way of bundling. You might have seen this startup Void Zero got all this funding recently. The reason why Void Zero got all that funding was because they're building like a replacement for rollup and a lot of invite and a lot of those web tools. So let's add rollup. Okay, good night. I'm sleeping early today. Good night. Sleep tight. Thanks for stopping in. Sleep and think about TS circuit code. Time to hit the cold brew. Okay, virtual modules plugin. Yeah, we got to write a plugin. I forgot about this one. This one's pretty tricky. Okay. So how rollup works is it's going to go through everything you import, and it's going to like say like, what do you want to do with this? And so you have to write a plugin to say, I want to do this. The reason why the plugin is tricky is for loading files that we already have in memory, it's not really a big deal. But for loading files that them themselves require bundling, we have to make this method recursive and make database API calls. So we'll have to build a whole test for that. But right now I'm just going to worry about the local files. So if you have multiple files inside of your package, we'll bundle those together. And we'll update the test to reflect that too. So let's say git tsci modules plugin. We'll pass in the package files, and we'll pass in the DB. Feels crazy to me working on this stuff when I know there's like so much stuff to do, and you're always making a decision on what not to do. But I know that this will be worth its weight in gold after a long enough period of time. But yeah, right now it's hard to see it. It's like, you know, because we do have a working bundling system, but the complexity of it is kind of causing issues. It's very complex, and it all works in browser, and it does custom regex bundling system, and it works, but it's not great. So it's time for something different. Okay. So let's see if we can remove some of this boilerplate code. So, and make it a little bit smarter. So we return the source it's kind of a poor naming convention here actually, but we basically return the file path That's the ID. This ID is always a file path. I didn't write this original version of the code. AI wrote it. So we have to figure out if we can resolve this. So we say if, some package file has this file path, we can resolve it. Otherwise, we're going to return it as external, which means it's going to stay the exact same. That's basically it. The future handling will need to handle TSCI. And there's also stuff like handling images. This is where you do it all. It's kind of crazy. Like, this is how simple it is to build a bundler with rollup. That's why it's so popular. But you know, it gets complex as you kind of cascade these things together, I think. Okay, so if we have the file, we're going to return the content text of that file. Although we want to have a little bit of an exception here. So if file.filepath ends with JSON, we're going to return something a little bit different. We're going to return export default JSON.stringify, and that's how you build a bundler that supports JSON. It's kind of crazy. Rollup is really cool. But people really shouldn't mess with this stuff. Like, if you start making custom rollup plugins, your project, it's going to be very hard to contribute to. So it's no surprise most people don't know this. You're not really supposed to do this. I'm sure many enterprises do. It's complaining about the file type. I think there's like a lot of optional-ish properties. So we'll do something like that. And I'm going to run this file again, run this test again. And we've got entry module, entry.js cannot be external. So what's probably happening here is this needs to be the entry point file path. Very hacky, just make it optional. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Minimum effort. I don't know. I think it's Deadpool's slogan, but it wasn't cool enough. They played it pretty classy, but I think it was maximum effort or something. Anyway, so minimum effort. Expression expected. Note that you need a plugin to import files that are not JavaScript. I wasn't expecting this because this is kind of simple. Do we even have any imports? We don't even have any imports in our code, I think. There's no imports in our little test file. No problem solving skills. True. Hey, it's not skill that got me here live streaming for 3 people on the internet. All right. You think skill got me here? Sheer effort, sheer commits every 3 hours. Man, I don't even want to think about how much time I've wasted on dumb problems. Because I was lazy. What are we even logging here? I need to add some sanity to the system. All right, so first of all, it's very upset about what I'm passing in, but I don't know why. Why are you upset? It's not assignable to type. Oh. Oh, it can be null. It's dumb. Those errors are so hard to read. Something should synthesize those errors in a really short thing. The problem is literally just because it comes from the database, and databases don't really think about undefined or null. Oh, it's so dumb. Okay, that's not causing our issues though. So we have an internal server error, expression expected. Oh. I think I know what's going on. Entry.js is our Babel result. We actually need to add the Babel result to the package files. It's like a pre-compilation step, but we're doing it all in memory. Yeah, that's pretty confusing, but entry.js, and then we put the Babel code in there. And I think that should be properly handled now. There should be no complexity there. I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we've got the rollup result in CJS. We might be done. Rollup results have a really weird output format, kind of like Anthropic's API. If you ever look at Anthropic's API, you have to like zero index an array. It's kind of dumb. They almost had a good API design. I think they might have inherited it from ChatGPT though. Okay, cool. So now we've got this cool CJS style module. We're literally done. That's it. It's not so bad, you know, using rollup. We have to handle recursive imports, I guess, and that'll be a little bit tricky, but it's actually not going to be that bad. So, because I'm usually like what Node does in Bun and why these things are so complicated is they like to create this tree of dependencies and like, you know, dedupe imports and stuff like that. We're not going to do any of that for TS circuit snippets. I'm going to keep it so simple. Everything is going to bundle. And this is what services like ESM.sh they do. They just bundle everything together. It's bad if you have really big bundles, but you know, it's not going to be a problem for a little while. Node used to not dedupe, and it wasn't a problem for years. So I'll be lazy. You're also not allowed to import from NPM in TS circuit right now. Like if you want a properly formatted snippet. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but you're not allowed to, so should keep things pretty small. I think if I do allow imports, I'll force people to provide the version in their imports. And I might do some weird stuff with that. Yeah, we'll see. Just to make sure that it's even more stable than like normal JavaScript code. All right, so if we hit, I think I can go to the package release now, and if we hit view CJS build, this is now accessible. So we now have an API route that returns, you know, CJS code for a bundle, which is pretty cool. Sleeping and watching stream. I guess I am ASMR for developers. It's like I feel like it's like Butter Robot, you know? That's my Butter Robot moment. I need to learn Tailwind a bit better. I randomly use tags. What do you mean by tags? I really like Tailwind actually has some really, really great features. By the way, I just found out about this framework called Twind. I think I had seen this before, but I had lost it and forgotten about it. But it's a Tailwind alternative. And like I don't think I would use it for a lot of projects, but maybe for libraries. But yeah, it's pretty cool, right? This is also a great animation. You gotta love this animation. Look at that. But this thing's pretty cool. I don't know why I brought this up. I don't know. I just like the simplicity of it. Because Tailwind, you have to have these export processes. And it's really bad for libraries. It's really bad. Let's see what they say. We like Tailwind. Twin takes a different approach by removing the build step. Yeah, the build step is kind of annoying. Article may. Oh, I see. You know, there was a movement when I was in college called semantic HTML. You probably are familiar with that. But anyway, the semantic HTML people, who I couldn't stand, by the way, but the semantic HTML people would have said that's best practice. But I couldn't stand semantic HTML people because it was, to me, if you're building like really innovative user interfaces, semantic HTML is one of the last things you should that should be on your mind. Like, you should be innovating on your UI, and having any constraint is not going to be, it's not going to be great. So, yeah, that's my little rant on semantic HTML. All right, I'm going to enable this to compile to ESM. Isn't that little flag? Okay. Now things. Okay, so two options we can do. We can look at doing bundling right now, or I can go to deployment. Because this is like MVP. Let's do bundling. I'll do a work in progress PR. So support, basic, let's say basic, bundling support, because we should be able to bundle local files even though we're not testing it. Basic bundling support, CJS/ESM endpoint boilerplate. Semantic bold, italic tags, they are crazy. Yeah, it was just like, it's just, yeah. They drove me crazy because I'm trying to like, I just felt like we were so opposed. Like, I was trying to like build, like, I remember I was building a video editor in HTML, and this was 10 years ago. So it was like, a while ago. And people hadn't really done that yet. We were using PHP and stuff. And like, it was such a hard UI to build. And then people were talking about semantic HTML. And I was like, dude, like, it's a video editor, man. Like, what is the argument for semantic HTML here? Anyway, takes me way back, that one. I think it's good for some sites. I'm gonna write a book on TS Circuit. I'm probably gonna start it today, but I want a book that's kind of like an extensive manual for TS Circuit. I'm gonna like hand tailor it and like, yeah, be very, very careful about it, and make it essentially a full length book. Because I've realized books are really good. Like, just for like, a lot of frameworks essentially have a book. And like, I've tried to do piecemeal docs, but there's not much incentive. So, yeah. You mean AI is going to write it? I don't know if AI could write it, because it's essentially going to be things that AI doesn't know yet. Eventually, yes, but like, AI isn't super. It's more like input to the AI for some of our code gen. I think it could read the book. But yeah, actually I want to get away from like having almost any AI content in it. I want it to have no mistakes. And also, when you wholly own something, like if you are responsible for every sentence in there, you can't blame anything. I think it becomes not necessarily higher quality, but in many times higher quality because you feel it, but also it's like original. It's completely original in some sense. So it sounds weird to say that for a reference text, but like, if I give recommendations or whatever, that's not, super AI guided or anything like that. And then people can build AI on it. Basically, like, input data set, I don't want to be corrupted by bad samples and crap like that. which we have a lot of docs that are kind of not so good, and there's AI generated sections, and yeah, it's gonna be kind of like a Bible reference guide. So if somebody writes a doc and it conflicts with the book, then at least you're disagreeing with me when you're writing the doc, and maybe AI can even catch that or something. All right, let's create the. What do we want to do here? Yeah, let's do local file bundling. Let's make a checklist. We got a lot of stuff to do. So for our bundling to be complete, there's so many things to do. Oh. Okay. Let's do this instead. It'll be faster. CJS bundling local files. CJS bundling other snippets. The ESM endpoint with bundles. And then we need this one's interesting. We need a Vercel Edge middleware for proxying from npm.tscircuit.com to the API. I don't have to use Vercel Edge middleware for this, but I'm pretty sure they support all my caching headers. So if not Vercel Edge middleware, we'll do a Cloudflare worker, because I know Cloudflare does. I actually like Cloudflare a little bit more, so we might do Cloudflare for that one. I don't use Cloudflare enough for how much I like them. Why do I have to go to college? In that meanwhile time, I can solve 2 or 3 issues. It sucks so much. Yeah. Look, man, I'm not going to comment on it. Look, just, yeah. I don't know. It's your life, man. What's the difference between your book and a manual? I think it's going to be together. Like what did I see that really inspired me? Okay, so inspirations, the Bun.js docs I really like. So this isn't really a book. This is a reference. This is definitely just a reference. But I like it. It uses Docusaurus, which I think I'll use too. I really like their guides as well. I think their guides are really great. This is also mostly reference, but the idea behind this is they're basically giving you small snippets of things that are, kind of official, kind of approved. It's more or less a piece of official documentation. So I really like this too. And these were the 2 things I wanted the docs to be. But then I looked at some older frameworks. Let's see. I think it might have been Flask. That's not right though. Yeah, there's like forward. It's already like a little bit like differently written. And for some reason, I like the organization of this a little bit more. There's this thing, college has resources, guidance, and network that you cannot get on your own. Yeah. But so the thing is, Imposter, the thing I don't understand, why I'm like not commenting on it too much, is I really liked college. I met a bunch of people I liked. I did a bunch of open source projects with them. And I even started a startup with people I met in college. So I like college. But I don't know how much it's changed since I went to college. And in particular, and I also don't know what it's like in India. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to participate in people's life decisions. I thought about Astro. I liked it when I saw it. It's only good for making static docs and landing pages. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm gonna use Docusaurus. Yeah, I also really like this. This is a true book. Oh wow, they might have They might have actually gotten an O'Reilly book. When I first read this, they definitely did not. But yeah, there's this book called Cosmic Python, which is one of my favorite books ever. Unfortunately, it's all Python. I wish somebody would rewrite this, but with JavaScript. But it's I love this book so much because it's like a really good introduction to, in my view, like a very good modern application architecture. Yeah, it talks about event-driven architectures, and it's basically used in a web app context in this case. But I think of it more in any kind of stateful app. Send me the link for Python. What, Cosmic Python? I don't know if I can send links. I'll try. Oh, there's a bug with OBS right now where I can't type, but the website is cosmicpython.com. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite books ever. Just because you get so many great terms and diagrams out of it, and it's free online, so I can reference it so easily. Yeah, I mean, like, I would never, if I said that the word temporal decoupling and I couldn't like send somebody a section on this book, it'd be crazy. Yeah. And it's such a good introduction to the message bus patterns too. I think like some of these patterns are less relevant. Actually, honestly, it's all really, really good. I think unit of work doesn't make sense for a lot of people, but almost everything else is so good. Yeah, entry points, just the terminology they use, it's so good. And how they explain dependency injection and how to do it properly is really, really great too. So good. Somebody really needs to do this in JavaScript. I'm just thinking of how great. I love it. React hello, how are you? Hello, Override Tips. Welcome. Tell me a good reference for Next.js and React. I want to learn that. I don't really know. Like, deep React, if you want to get incredibly good at React, you would need to probably optimize re-renders, because that's probably the only thing that like is a skill set you can build in React. Otherwise, React is very simple. It's like, I want to become an expert at console.log. It's not much to it. React is pretty simple. That's why it's so popular. It's very, very simple. It's just a declarative programming paradigm. The Next.js manual is confusing. Yeah, there's this concept called the 4 pillars of docs, something like that. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find this. Maybe this might be it, but I forget. So there's learning-oriented, goal-oriented, understanding-oriented, and information-oriented reference material. So ideal docs have all of these. So I think goal-oriented must be a guide. Information-oriented reference material, that's like your API reference. Understanding-oriented is kind of is more or less the stuff I'm talking about with books. In the book that I feel like I'm missing. And then I think the book is also learning oriented. Maybe understanding oriented is more like development. I feel like that would be the later stages of a book. But I don't know, it kind of mixes them in a really nice way. I guess what I'm saying is like, it feels weird to just go to a blank page and get started. Yeah, you know what's weird about the Next.js documentation is it has variables. So that's pretty weird. Yeah, Next.js is... I have weird feelings about Next.js right now. It's very complicated. Depending on the size of your company, I think Next.js is a good pick because it has so many bells and whistles. So for enterprises love features. They love checklists. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And it makes sense that they have it. See ya. Thanks for turning in. Thanks for turning up. I know React plus Next.js. I don't know. I don't know what you would... the Next.js, I don't know. You just got to build stuff. I don't think... Like, unless you were building while you read something, would it even, like, materialize for you? Would it even, like, save in your brain? You have to, I like to read books when I'm doing SQL database design. I like to read a book as I'm doing it. And then you can, like, the connections in your brain sees the relevance. So I guess this is a long way of saying I don't have any recommendations. Okay, we're going to add a local import here. So we'll say, I don't even know what. We can import manual edits. That's a very normal thing to do. So we'll pass in this manual edits prop. So we're going to try to bundle this manual edits file. Say insert an empty object for the manual edits file. Okay. How did you learn all the tech stacks like any? I don't know that many tech stacks. In college, I tried out like everything. I used to try out things that would go that were on the front page of Hacker News. So it's actually not bundling properly. We can see that the manual edits file is still being required. So let's figure out why it's not bundling. Bundle generates TSCI. So we probably need to normalize the file path. This is unfortunately a constant issue. Yeah. Normalize a file path, and then we'll just give some examples so that AI can generate this properly. So we'll say /manual-edits.json. We're just going to convert that to that. You know, that's the only the one I can think of right now. Might be others. And then we're going to normalize the file path on both sides. We can also, yeah, it's not a very good name, file path, because there's a lot of file paths in this context. So we can call it unresolved file path. And then we can call this one resolved file path. I think that makes it pretty clear. Yeah, that actually is. It's a pretty good naming convention, actually. We'll improve this condition a little bit. Nice. No one like today's. How would you switch between tech stack? What is your approach? I mean, if I see a feature I like in a tech stack, I might try it out. I'll probably try it out on a small project, not a big project, a small project. And then if it works well, maybe I'll scale it up to a bigger project. We have 180 repos, so there's tons of opportunity to try frameworks. That being said, unless you are like a really dedicated, like basically I pick the tech stacks for the projects right now, and you would have to be somebody who I know would you know, really maintain a controversial tech choice, right? Like some are okay. Shibo introduced eval light, which I think was a great idea. But like I had never used that. Like if somebody wants to, you know, use some kind of weird front end framework, I generally like will be like, run your own experiment. You know, if you have a lot of data backing it up, but don't like run experiments where I have to maintain the code. It's really not finding this manual edits file. It's not bundling it. Let's see if it even gets to the load stage. So we've got all these resolved file paths. Let's see if we can find out. I recently learned how to use the bun debugger too, so we could also play with that. Okay, it's never resolving it. I don't know how you would use the bun debugger in this case. I feel like it's maybe not the best case. Okay, so we're getting a result. Oh yeah, there we go. Unresolved file path. Let's log the normalized file path as well. And let's also log the package file so we know without a doubt why it's not getting picked up. I think I logged it wrong. Let's try this again. Okay. Entry.js, we don't care about that. Unresolved file path manual edits, normalized file path manual edits.json. Oh, interesting. We're getting 2 package files, but the manual edits isn't in there. So somehow when we're loading in all the package files, we're not doing it very well. All right, let's use the debugger for fun. So I just do inspect-wait at the end of this test. Then I open up my browser. Approach, don't cut my money. When you think I'm gone, I am in college. Come back and solve issues. Don't cut my money. I mean, look, man, I got to be a good steward of the vision. You know what I mean? I got to be a good steward for the money I've been entrusted with. So it's really not my choice, you know, in some ways. It's like, you know, when people trust you to spend or sponsor responsibly, you have to do the right thing. Okay, so we're getting the right content here. Spun debugger is pretty awesome, right? I don't really know how to use it though to add multiple debugging points. So it's basically just console.log for me now. But yeah, for some reason, I guess when you get over here, it doesn't work properly. Let's try another debugger run. Okay, it's running. Okay. Yeah, so at this point, we have all the same files. Okay. Narrowed it down. It's like a little bit nicer than console log. Okay, package files.map. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, I really flubbed this one. Are you switching between different IDEs? I'm switching to the bun debugger. So if you write debugger and then you do -- inspect wait on your test, you can like see your source code and also like it was basically stopping the program and I could look at all the variables. There's a lot of ways to use a debugger. That's just one way. Actually, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm not debugging anymore. I think it's fixed. So we're going to not do inspect wait. We're going to run it. And you can see now the manual edits is bundled, but it looks a little bit weird. It looks like it's coming in as a string. We don't want that. So let's make it so JSON files actually come in as JSON. I'm kind of surprised it does that. Let's see. Let's remove these console logs. Export default JSON stringify. Yeah, I don't know why it would do that. Export default. Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I was stringifying stringified text or something. Anyway, working now. I'm using a Linux box, but got bored with it. Thinking about buying a MacBook. You should get an M1. Yeah, you should get maybe an M1 or yeah, because the M1s are so cheap now. Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely get a cheap MacBook. Don't get an Intel. Make sure it's an M1 or above. Make sure it's an M1 or above. Don't bother with that Intel stuff. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. Cool. So fix bundling for local files. Wow, this is taking so long. Hour and a half. I'm still working on this. It's crazy. I could have watched Good Will Hunting in this time, or insert hour and a half movie. Okay. Let's get remote module loading, and then this bundler is basically complete. So if we look at Excalidraw here, we got it. Bundling local files. We did one thing. Boom. We did some other things to stream, but that's the main thing. CJS bundling other snippets is not what I'm concerned about. So to do this, we need to create 2 snippets. So we really need to complicate this fixture a little bit. So let's do package 2. We'll rename this package 1. And then what should we call this? My package. No. What's a good name for this? Let's say some chip or something. And we'll try to put a chip in it. So it's conceptually, it's like you want to import a chip. Yeah, we got to rename all of these now. Package release 1. A test chip, a chip. Okay, then we need to insert the file. I have an idea. We want to give people a drawing board supporting snippets the way they can first plan like we do in Figma before making the circuit. I think we can use TL draw. You want people to be able to draw the circuit? What would you draw? There's a lot of boilerplate code here. So we're going to export a chip like this, name some chip. Yeah, manual edits. Ooh, it's not really a good way to do manual edits here. Let's say, let's create a file like pin labels.json. So let's pretend we have to load in the pin labels. Something like that. We'll give this a dip 8 footprint. I think like as far as like what we need to build, like I would like think about everything relative to the KiCad process to some extent, because people are used to opening up KiCad, doing schematic capture, sending it to PCB layout, stuff like that. I don't know if people do, I guess a lot of people do draw a schematic. So if you did something like drawing to schematic and we were able to get AI to analyze and do the schematic, maybe. Collaborative editing. I don't know, man. I'm way more concerned. Like collaborative editing isn't like something people really do. I'm more concerned about the CLI and like the capabilities, right? Most circuits have like hundreds of components. So like you have to think about, okay, what if you're not building a simple circuit? You know what you should do, Ansh, is try to build a complex circuit. Like try to build like a real, like try to make a keyboard or something. A keyboard is a pretty simple one, by the way, but you could try to make something like that. Yeah, there's an RFC right now for digital logic. If we were gonna do, I don't mean to shoot it down. I mean, good ideas. You know, people have good ideas sometimes, right? I'm not the only one with ideas, but there's this circuit logic RFC. Ooh, good point. Oh wow, I can't believe good points. Number of cycle / step. It's a good idea. Wow, I can't believe people actually gave this a review. Wow, this is why I stopped checking my GitHub notifications for a bit. I should really come in here. But clearly understands what this PR is about, Dr. Sensor, which is pretty cool. But anyway, sorry, I got distracted. But this logic RFC is all about simulating digital logic for chips so that you know if chips work, you can run simulations, stuff like that. I think this is going to be a really, really big deal. I would much rather do digital logic simulation than work on trying to build an editor. Like, Ansh, we're not trying to build an editor. We have to build an editor so that people can like so that it's easier to get started, but we have to build an editor. We don't want to like build the best possible editor, I think. Yeah, having people draw a schematic and AI create the schematic is a good idea. And I don't think I think it's actually very possible to do right now. There's a whole pipeline, like you want to draw and then you want to take that drawing and put it into schematic netlist, which is like a format that AI already understands, and then take that schematic netlist and convert it to TS circuit. And so I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't start. It won't go on the first place it goes. Probably wouldn't be on snippets. It would probably go somewhere else first. It would probably go like we would have a separate website like schematicdraw.tscircuit.com and then test it there and then bring it to snippets. Because I think the AI was introduced on tscircuit.com a little bit too early, and now it feels like nobody is going to trust the feature because it's so bad. So you should do it elsewhere first. You can try to bootstrap a little site to do it, but I think like what I would look at is the prompt benchmarks repo and try to, I would say you probably want to create the pipeline from schematic, schematic netlist, like, rough schematic netlist to TS circuit. I would say you need an AI that can just do this before you can do it. You're not going to be able to take, I don't think you'll be able to take the drawing and convert it directly to TS circuit, because TS circuit isn't intuitive for AI yet. So you have to have intermediary steps in my view. Just the way it is. Eventually AI will know TS circuit. That guy's pretty cool, that Dr. Sensor guy. He's done some really good PRs. All right. Yeah, we don't need to be too fancy. Okay, so now we should have 2 packages. So if I restart my server here. Yeah, now I have 2 packages. I have a chip. This chip should bundle. There shouldn't be a problem with this chip. Oops. CJS. Yeah, so this fully bundles, which is great. But now we want them to bundle together. So what we're going to do is modify this board snippet and add in the chip. So test chip, we'll call it. Jane.someChip. I think that's the name of the package. Okay, so now okay, we got to restart our server, but let's take a look at that CJS bundle, and it should fail to bundle it. That's what I'm expecting. Oh boy, I lost where I was. Okay. Packages. My package. Okay. Package release. It's a lot of clicks. View CJS build. Yeah, so it's requiring it directly. It's not bundling it yet. So we should be able to refresh this page, and it should be fully bundled in a minute. Okay, so I will try to build schematic drawing to readable netlist as my side project, and we can integrate there. It's a really good idea. Yeah, exactly. Build it in a repo, you know? Try to use our code conventions. It's good practice. And then yeah, and then we can work on the benchmark, and we can get it integrated. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I think we should have it. All right, let's do a checkpoint commit here. Add second package to seed. Can't believe how long this is taking. There's so many issues, and I'm working on bundling. Okay, so if the file path starts with TSCI, we're going to return the unresolved file path. It's also not technically, I get why they called it ID. It's hard to name. It's really an unresolved file path or module. Oh. Hi. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't tell him. He just kind of texted me. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, I can wrap up. I'm going to wrap up. Okay. I'll be right there. All right. I'm going to do a puppy interview. Apparently there's another puppy. Or there's an opportunity to reserve a puppy or something like that. So I'm going to go do a puppy interview. If I'm able to do that, you can sponsor my company rather than me personally. I don't think it's that hard. No offense. But look, just try it. But I actually think that schematic to readable netlist should only take a day. So is that my wife? I don't have a wife. I'm a bachelor. All right. Nobody can lock me down. All right. No, I kid. It's my girlfriend. Okay. Anyway, for now, I'm going to go do that puppy interview. Ansh, have a good night. And to everyone else, thanks for dropping